So for all of these reasons, God is beyond our knowledge, beyond the reach of material science, beyond our perception. So that's why Vedas say, Saveti vedyam nachatasyasti veta tamahuragryam purukham mahantam. Who can know God? God can know God. No one else can know Him. Krishna says in the Gita, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Hey Arjun, I know everything. I know all the things that happened in the past. I know every little thing happening right now in every corner of this universe. And I know everything that's going to happen in the future, whatever is destined. But nobody can know me. Mam tu veda na kaschana. It's impossible. No one can know me, Krishna says. Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasa avigyatam vijanatam vigyatam avijanatam. Keno Upanishad says, the one who thinks he can know God with his material intellect is agya. He's ignorant. And the one who knows that God cannot be known with material intellect, he understands the truth. Ram Swarupa Tumhar Vachan Agochar Buddhi Par Avigat Akath Apar Neti Neti Nita Nigam Vad. Ramayana. O Ram, your form is beyond. It cannot be described, perceived, attained. You are absolutely beyond the reach of material senses, mind, and intellect. So this is all to understand why can we not have pratyaksh praman of God right now. And since none of us here has pratyaksh praman, unfortunately Anuman praman does not do anything for us either. That is not final proof unless, like I said, you've seen fire and smoke together. So the next time, if you only see the smoke, you can say, oh, I know there's fire there. You can infer. But if you had never seen a fire in your whole life and you saw smoke, could you infer that there was fire there? No. So when we have no pratyaksh praman of God's existence, then the Anuman praman is also incomplete. It can help us have faith in God, but it's not a final evidence. So in that case, what are we left with? Shabda praman. Our scriptures, the Vedas, Gita, Darshan Shastras, Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and the great saints who have inhabited this earth planet, all those scriptures and all of those saints give testimony to the fact of God's existence. Because we have no way right now to get pratyaksh praman of God's existence, and we have no way to infer His existence. So there's only one thing left for us to rely on. Shabda praman. We need testimony from a reliable source that God exists. Now the question is this blind faith? Just believing in God because someone told you and you have no other evidence, is that just blind faith? The answer is no. In fact, it's completely scientific, and I'll explain to you how. We use this same process in science. See, I don't know if any of you sitting here has ever seen an atom or an electron with your own eyes. I have not. But I believe they exist. because I believe the testimony of the scientific experts. According to their testimony, I accept, yes, atoms and electrons must exist. Is that a blind faith? It's not. You know why? Because if I wanted to, I could get the proof. Those scientists are not saying, no, just believe it because I'm telling you. They're saying, here's the experiment I performed which got me the pratyaksh praman of the existence of these things. Here's the experiment, perform it yourself and see. That's not blind faith. It's reproducible results. Until you do the experiment, you won't get the pratyaksh praman, but the option is there to do it. If there's no option there to do it, then it's a blind faith. No, just believe it because I'm telling you. That's blind faith. When there's an avenue to follow, to get the proof, to get the pratyaksh praman, then it's not blind faith, it's a beginning point. It's intelligent faith. We use this faith in science all the time. Nobody starts from scratch in science. We build upon what generations of scientists have discovered, and we go forth from there. So we start by taking their word for it, and then we go forward and try to discover more. That's not a blind faith, it's an intelligent faith. Why reinvent the wheel? So if someone wants to experience God, first, they take the faith of the experts in the spiritual field, those who have followed the path to God and gotten the pratyaksh praman for themselves. We call them saints, Mahapurush, God-realized saints, divine personalities. According to their testimony, we develop faith in God's existence, and just like those great scientists, they also provide the path to us. They say, here's what I did that enabled me to see God. You also do the same and you can see for yourself. I'm very fond of giving this example, that what if someone decided that they didn't believe in the existence of some foreign country that they had never been to, like say China. Someone thinks, I think it's a big conspiracy. Everybody's talking about China. I've never seen China from my own eyes. Why should I believe it exists? Some people talk like this about God. Oh, I think people just made up this idea of God. I don't believe. I've never seen God for myself. So those who have been to China, if there's someone saying, you know what? No, this is a big conspiracy. You guys made up this idea of China. I don't believe in China. So the ones who have been to China will say, why don't you get on a plane and go see for yourself? Instead of just saying there, I don't believe. Okay, go and see for yourself. If you go where I'm telling you to go and there's no China there, then you can say, then you have disproved the existence of China. But until you go there and see for yourself, you can't say. So until someone walks the path to God, we're just sitting here with our material senses and intellect, and God is divine, and we're saying, no, I don't believe God exists. It's childish. We have to follow the path that would enable us to get divine senses so that we could actually perceive God's existence for ourselves. So it's completely scientific. You can get on that plane and go to China and see for yourself. You can walk the path of God realization and meet God face to face and see for yourself. So it's not a blind faith at all. Faith is involved. You can't proceed on the path without faith. You wouldn't undertake an experiment without some amount of faith. Meaning, I want to reproduce the same results that these scientists got. You have some amount of faith to begin, or else you wouldn't even start. So the testimony of those great saints and those scriptures, which are produced in the world by God, that provides the foundation for our faith and gives us everything we need in order to proceed. But one distinction that should be made is that Shabda Praman that we rely on, that testimony of God's existence, that's of a different quality of testimony. That's a different quality of evidence than the Shabda Praman we have in the world. In the world, we rely on the evidence of the scientific experts. What they say, we accept that. When it comes to God, we rely on the experts in the spiritual field, the God-realized saints. The distinction that has to be made is that that's a divine knowledge revealed by saints who have a divine mind. And this is a material knowledge which is incomplete, imperfect, and is constantly being revised, corrected, updated. That knowledge is already complete. It's introduced in its complete form. This knowledge begins with speculation and then experimentation, and then you get the proof of was your speculation correct or not. That knowledge never began with speculation. It didn't have to be discovered. It was revealed from the top down, meaning someone who has already attained God revealed the whole package of knowledge. It wasn't revealed by someone like us who's trying to get there to the top of the mountain. And we're trying to describe along the way, oh, this is the knowledge. No, this is the knowledge. Now I learn more. Now we can add this and correct that. The world is no longer flat. It's now round. It's not a geocentric universe, it's heliocentric, planetary system, solar system. There's no corrections like that. It's introduced in its perfect form. So that's a distinction that has to be made. Even though I'm drawing analogies, I'm showing the similarities between scientific knowledge and the spiritual or scriptural knowledge. This is a big difference. That scientific knowledge is the product of material intellect. So it's always subject to mistakes, and it's always incomplete. As I said, no spiritual field is ever finished, complete, perfect. But where did this knowledge come from? Mayadau brahmane prokta varniyam veda sangita Kalena nashta pralaye varniyam veda sangita mayadav brahmane prokta dharmo yasyam madatmakah. Bhagavatam. Krishna says that he introduces the knowledge of the Vedas to Brahma, and Brahma introduces that knowledge not in a written form, but a divine power of knowledge which is already complete and eternal. Even God didn't make it up. It's an eternal divine power which he introduces into the divine mind of Brahma. And Brahma transfers that knowledge into the divine mind of the first saints inhabiting the earth planet. And after many generations of saints, when ordinary human population grew to a certain point, it had to be written down in a book form. Those books may be lost or damaged, and then again the same knowledge is reintroduced in a book form again and again and again. So there's a divine system of maintaining that scriptural knowledge on the earth planet. It doesn't have to be revised. It doesn't have to be built up, like we keep building up scientific knowledge. It's just whole and complete already, and it's just reintroduced in its perfect and complete form. And we use that as Shabda Praman, as the basis for our faith in God. So the Vedas and Gita and all those scriptures tell us that God exists. So we take that as our evidence. And all these saints in history have re-authenticated those scriptures by continually referring to them, by saying, don't take my word for it, it says it in the Vedas, therefore believe it. So all those saints continually reaffirm the authenticity of our divine scriptures. And that is